What's up, everybody? Tim Madden here from Hedge Post Media. And you know, I carry a lot of stuff in the woods, but I tell everybody, it's all got a place and purpose. So today I'm going to talk with you about everything I carry in my bag and a little bit of why. So this pack right here is actually everything I'll usually take when hunting out of a tree stand, whether I'm self-filming or filming for somebody else. This is still what I carry. I don't change much because if I do have certain items that are particular to me, if I'm self-filming, then I just consider them backup for the hunter I am filming. So, oh yeah, little disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by any of the products you're gonna see in this video. Currently right now, HPM has absolutely no sponsors. But I'll start with my jacket. This is a Sitka Fanatic jacket. I love this bag. This is actually an Alps pack, and it's pretty slick because I can carry all this stuff in it. As you'll see, it's a lot of stuff. And it's also got the option, I can strap my bow to it, which you guys might have seen me do before. So yeah, my Fanatic jacket. Then, let me stop right here and explain that everything in this pack has its place, and it's in its place for a very specific reason. So I think actually the easiest way for me to demonstrate everything is if I go through as if I'm actually going up the tree. So typically, most of the stands I get to, most of our stands, all have lifelines. So I'm clipped in, climbing up. As soon as I get to the top, if I'm in a situation where I want to pull this up, or if I'm wearing it, I will get it up into the tree with me as soon as I'm safely secured to the tree. Then my bag, I will have its very own safety harness. I'll actually use one of the Prusik rope deals with the carabiner, which I would be showing you right now, but all mine happen to be in trees that I have not yet removed from the trees. But I'll usually have that in my pocket. I'll pull it out, flip it around the tree just as if I was clipping myself in, and I will clip my bag in. And I'll typically clip it on, it'll be sitting on the seat, I'll be facing it. I'll clip it right here under just enough tension to keep it upright. Then I can get to all the pockets in my bag without having to really move anything or having to use any type of lights, which I prefer to prevent. If I do need a light, however, I've got them very quick and handy. Right here is my easy to get to headlamp. So once I've got her clipped up in the tree, first thing I'm gonna reach for is this left-hand side small pocket, which I can also reach when the bag is on very easily. It'll be right here, so I can take out accessory hooks. I carry a couple in here, but first things first, I wanna get my camera in the tree and set up. So I'll take one out, screw it into the tree. Once that's screwed into the tree, I can open up my main compartment. I keep my camera arm base. This base is pretty slick. Once I've got that hook screwed in right where I want it, I can hang the base from that hook, strap the base to the tree, tighten her down, and then it's ready for the arm. My arm is also super easy to get to. It stays right on the outside of the pack. Typically, I can slide her right out the top without having to even hit any buckles or anything. That'll slide right in, good to go. So now that I got my base set up, my camera is stored inside a completely another bag. Now this other bag on the inside typically won't even end up getting removed from my bag, because keep in mind my bag's still clipped to the tree. But I'll pull her out. Now in this bag right now, I have my Canon 70D. Lauren uses this to film her hunts now. I actually use the A7S II, which I'm using to film right now. That will usually be in this bag. But I just did it for demonstration purposes. Then in this handy dandy side compartment, I keep all my mic accessories and mics. This is the Shure VP83. This is my favorite shotgun mic. It's like 200 bucks. It runs off 1AA with 120-hour battery life. It's unbelievable. Sound quality, I think, is just as good as the Rode VideoMic Pro with better battery life. Then I'll usually also have in that compartment my Rode Video Link wireless lav system, which I have on me right now and I'm using to video. But at the very bottom, I then have the extra windscreen for that mic for if it's super windy. And actually most of the time I just leave it on anyway. Underneath the actual camera compartment, I have my Tiffin variable ND filter. If I want to get some silky smooth slow motion shots, or if it's super duper bright out to where I'm ramping up my shutter speed way too much, I'll whip that out and use it for filming. Then the pocket I use quite frequently on this camera case, 10,000 milliamp battery pack. I'll use this to charge my GoPros, my camera, my phone, whatever it might be. I can typically charge it from this little battery pack. And then I've got a phone cable and a regular old micro USB cable. Also in that pouch, I have an extra quick detach base and my SD card pouch, micros and regular SD cards. Never know when you'll need more memory. That's all I got in there. Side pocket here, I have a sensor dust blower offer and my other lens I'll use for the A7S II. This is a 16 to 35 f4 lens. It's a wider angle, more stable for walking and good for showing off the big bucks on recovery. Extra micro USB cable and the filter for the sensor cleaner. Then in this pocket over here, I keep most of my spare batteries. Right now I've just got the AAAs. I usually have a pouch of AA's as well. Never know what you're gonna need them for. These are typically just for my headlamps. AA's I'll use for my mics, trail cameras, anything. And another micro USB cable and a set of headphones. That's typically when I'm filming someone else, I'll run all my audio through the headphones, just make sure everything's clean. And another micro USB or micro SD for whatever reason. So that's my camera bag itself. Now, I've got my camera all set up in the tree. Now I wanna make sure all my stuff's set up. So I'll go through the exterior pockets. Well, I'll run through what I've got as far as backup on the inside of this bad boy. In here, I always keep an extra ratchet strap. A lot of times, especially when I'm filming someone else, I never know what kind of situation I'm getting myself into as far as a cameraman stand. Sometimes they've been hung in trees for years and I've seen some sketchy straps, so never hurts to have an extra. Also in this bag, I keep my small LED light. This is for mounting on top of the camera in any type of low light situation. I'll use this light for recoveries, at low light, or setting up in the morning, just whatever I need light for when there's no light outside. I've got a small diffusion on here, which brings me to one thing I did forget. On the front of this camera bag, conveniently under a lot of loud Velcro, I have a multi-shoe bracket. So what this allows me to do is if it is gonna be low light where I've gotta get this out, I can screw that bad boy in there into the top of a camera, especially if it'll go tight. There we go. And then that allows me to mount both my light and a mic. So that's a pretty slick setup. It's a little bulky and heavy when filming, but it's very rare I use this, mostly just, like I said, recoveries. What else do we have hidden in here? On my outside pockets, I keep my bow hook. Nothing like these Realtree Easy hangers for the money and the sharpness of the point and how easily they bite the trees. This is what I've found to be the best. I like the 3-arm. On this other side pouch, I'll usually keep other extra hooks. I also keep my zip ties in here for fastening tags, as well as an extra knife. I'm packing the Outdoor Edge Razor Light EDC. It's been used a lot. So this has the replaceable blades. I'm really digging this knife. I just started using it this year. And as I was saying, I also got some extra hooks in that pouch. So that pocket usually doesn't get opened unless there's a kill. Here's something interesting. This is a little clever tech tip for anybody who films. Hand warmers and a spring clamp. Reason being, battery compartment on most of these cameras is in the actual grip of my mirrorless and DSLR cameras. So what that allows me to do is I'll open up one of these. If it's super cold to where my batteries are dying really fast, I can open one of these up, throw it on there, and clamp it on. It's weird. You gotta kind of finagle the clamp to get it around your actual camera arm in the lens, but it keeps the batteries warmer and I get some more life out of them. I'll also use this on my GoPro, which is conveniently located right here on the side, slips right out. I can clamp a hand warmer right around the back of that GoPro too. That keeps it warm, better battery life. Speaking of my GoPro, I treat this thing like absolute garbage. Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm very hard on it though. Most of my equipment I am, with the exception of my expensive camera, I'm pretty rough on this stuff. You'll notice a lot of paint chippings and stuff, especially on my camera arm. These have been thrown out of trees, just having to move in a hurry, any reason. I hunt hard, my equipment is right there with me, and the biggest thing I have found, especially when filming hunts, is to do it right, everything needs to be accessible quite easily. So with this, if there's something I need to film, where normally I'm like, I'll get it next time, you know, I'll make that footage up, I'll make up that B-roll, whatever, I can whip that sucker out, clamp it on my bow. If I'm in a situation where all of a sudden there's a big buck and I'm walking out of the timber and I want to film, at least get something of like the stock, I can just whip that out, clamp it on my bow, however I need to, it's ready to go. Accessibility is the biggest thing when filming your hunt. Get to your camera or have your camera ready. Otherwise, you'll get lazy. I'll leave that out. My other side pocket here, this is where I keep some interesting stuff. An extra pull-up rope. Most all my trees have pull-up ropes, but like I was saying, I'm not always ending up in my trees. Sometimes I'm filming other people and I've never been to the stand before. I show up at dark and there's only one pull-up rope. I might need another one. A lock. This is interesting. So if you've watched my channel for a long time, you'll know that I've done quite a bit of public land hunting. So anytime I'm hunting public land, if I want to throw up a trail camera, I've got a lock. If I end up wanting to leave my lone wolf overnight, I've got a lock. And even if I'm on private property where I think there might be other people or poachers nearby and I'm gonna leave something for any type of length of time where it's uncomfortable, I'm gonna lock it up. It's super easy if you've got it. Like I said, accessibility. It's right here in my side pocket. I know it's there. It might save me $100 or a couple $100 depending on what I'm preventing getting stolen. Backup headlamp, same thing. I've been filming guys before. They don't have a headlamp. I've got an extra one. Usually it's got batteries. Face mask. Honestly, if you've seen a lot of my stuff, I don't usually wear a face mask.
I think I made a good shot. It felt right. I put it right there. He was quartering away from me. I definitely caught along, I know. I'm shaking like a leaf, baby. I got him with the recurve.
I can't stand not being able to hear things real well or having anything obstructing my line of sight, especially when I'm filming. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't sit perfectly still when I'm hunting. I don't sit still at all, hardly. I'm always got my head on a swivel. I'm always looking, because the difference between seeing that deer 2 seconds earlier is a big difference when you're filming, because that might be the difference in getting the shot and not. But I have it there just in case, especially if I'm in a situation where the sun's hitting my face. I will put this on. A set of gloves. You'll notice these aren't really winter gloves. I'm a big fan of not wearing gloves. I've got the frostbite to prove it right now. It's growing out of my fingernails. But I've got them in there just in case, especially for hanging and moving stands when it's really cold. If you saw in my last year's video shooting the wide 8, my knuckles were even bleeding because I was moving a stand in the middle of the winter. Hand warmer wrapper because I don't litter. Another thing I like are these turkey foot looking tree hooks. They seem to hold a lot more weight better, so I'll actually hang my bag from one of these and I'll hang it across all 3 hooks. I don't know that it actually helps, but I like the idea, and I like that it's got a nice mean 90-degree elbow on the end so it doesn't slide off. I got 2 of those in here. And then the essentials. All this other stuff is just options. This is essential. Self-explanatory. And then on a hunt previously this year, I forgot a rangefinder battery. So I always keep a spare rangefinder battery. Actually, I keep a few spares. Yeah, I learned that lesson. A few more. Another hook. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. That's what I carry in my bag every day when I go into the woods. Mass weight on this stuff. 37 pounds. If you've got any questions on any of this equipment I use, I have used and abused all this stuff. It's held up pretty well. This pack is outstanding. Like I said, we're not sponsored by anybody, but this Alps Outdoors pack, I've used this pack now for 2 years, thrown it everywhere, ripped on all the zippers. Everything is held up with the exception of the big main buckle. I ended up closing that in a door and it broke, but called them up. They 2-dayed me a brand new buckle, threw it on there. Pack's been good to go ever since. Phenomenal bag. I've ripped a few holes in it, but it still holds everything great. Camera arm. This camera arm's heavy, but super durable, rock solid. I don't think that there's anything on the market that truly compares to this third arm. Be watching in the future. I've got a plan. I'm gonna be putting together some new videos kind of like this at this table. You might get to recognize this pretty well if you enjoy this type of video. I'm gonna be going through a multi-video series of how to film your own hunts. Everything from selecting cameras all the way down to editing and exporting your videos. So keep a close eye on our channel. If you're new here, hit subscribe, and I hope you stick around. I'll see you in the next one.